we have other stuff coming up in March.
Oh, we have
Zack Snyder's Justice
dude,
League.
Justice League, man. I was talking to this kid from Australia on Destiny the other day, and he's like, "I gotta find a way to to rip that because I guess it's only gonna be in America at first in HBO Max or something like that, or unless HBO Max is only in America. I don't know." But he's like, "I need to get a hold of that instantly." And people at work are trying to like talk to me about the freaking the trailer, and I'm like, I didn't watch it. I don't want to hear about it. I don't want to know anything. Don't tell me what the Joker looks like because I haven't looked. I've been on full avoid mode because, listen, I want to go in not knowing anything. You know, I saw some original footage trailer before, the DC, what was it called? DC...
Oh, Fandom?
Fandom, yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that was fine. It was like pre-footage stuff, like whatever. But I don't want to know crap. I want to sit for 4 hours and just soak in this. And I want to see if Zack Snyder would have put out a better Justice League with his vision than what came out. Because you've heard me on the show before. With Zack Snyder, I've always said he's a better cinematographer than he is a director. And I want to see how his true vision of this film really is. And there's no, probably no Warner Brothers like holding back. So this will be his true vision. And this will ultimately show if he is actually a good director and his vision is actually what the people want.
I agree with you, man. I feel like there's a lot riding on this for him. I know he has a zombie Netflix series coming out. I think in the summer, which I'm totally stoked for. But I just, I do. I feel like there's a lot riding on this. I mean, for the internet to really make a statement and push for this to come out, and you have to think that the fans is what really pushed Warner Brothers to go, okay, you know what? We'll invest in you, Zach. We'll let you finish your vision. Here you go. I just, I really hope it lives up to the hype that I think a lot of people had created in their minds.
Yeah.
I commend you for not watching any footage or not seeing any images of Jared Leto's Joker or anything like that. And of course, I will not say anything. But I'm very excited to see his story play out.
Yeah.
Again, I was a huge fan of Man of Steel. Or am a huge fan of Man of Steel. That maybe Superman, the Ultimate Edition, I think is a really great. It's a really great movie. I mean, it surpasses theatrical cut because there's so many things they cut out that like tied the story together. But so Zack Snyder had an arc, and I think that's really cool. They're letting him finish it. And I like that. It looked. It feels like Zack Snyder. Yeah. I mean, Zack Snyder's Man of Steel, Batman v Superman, they were darker, more intense films, very separate from Marvel. And his vision of Justice League fits with that mold. I'll say that. And I think you would probably assume it would, if it was him doing it, it will continue with that.
Yes.
And it wouldn't be what Joss Whedon,
And what's wild is we're getting the Joker and Darkseid in one film. Like, we're getting that on the, I would say, big screen because I don't think it's coming out to theaters. But just knowing that, I am so excited.
Oh, me too, dude.
I don't know what aspect each character is going to be in, and it kind of sucks because obviously Darkseid, I don't think he's going to be obviously the main villain. Obviously, I think it's still going to be Steppenwolf, but it's gonna want, if it's good and it's exhilarating, it's gonna want me wanting a sequel, and I don't think that's in our future. So I feel like even if this goes well, like, it's gonna be disappointing, not because of how good the movie was, but because this is what could have been, and that's the thing that's gonna bother me. And the thing with DC is like, yeah, that's cool, but they need to start pushing out content that's just exciting as what Marvel's doing.
I agree. And they just need to keep. They need to have confidence in themselves.
Yeah.
And they need to not compare themselves to Marvel or catch up at that. Like we're way past that point.
Can't catch up. You gotta
just
be true to yourself. You gotta push out content that's good, and just flow from there. If it's just single movies, you know, they have a whole lineup coming out. I'm excited for Suicide Squad. I don't gonna even go to theaters for that. It's gonna be on HBO Max, and you know they got the Gotham City PD coming out. You know we got the Batman. We have John Cena as the Peacemaker. Like, there's plenty of stuff to look forward to, but it's just a matter of, is it good? Is it entertaining? And can you keep flowing off this momentum? Because with Wonder Woman 84, it was fun, but there was a lot of things that I didn't like. I love the first Wonder Woman, but I know I'm just flowing into something else here, but, you know, the ending of that film kind of, like, just threw me off a little bit. You know, you didn't need, you know, Dr. Minerva to become Cheetah in this film. You could have gave her those, you know, those superpowers of Wonder Woman, but not put her into the Cheetah form. She could have, you know, really wanted to grasp being that supernatural super being, and eventually down the line you could have had Gal Gadot's Wonder Woman face Dr. Minerva's Cheetah as the Cheetah form. And, you know, with the ending when she's sitting there with the lasso on, what's his face? Who did Pedro Pascal play again? I'm blanking on the name.
Oh, Maxwell Lord.
You know, when he's standing there, like, talking to everyone, like, her lassos telling people to, like, rescind their wishes. Like, if anything, Maxwell Lord, him saying, I rescind my wish, should have canceled out everyone's wishes, because he was the wishing stone, the dream stone at that time. And it just didn't make any, like, a lot of things didn't make sense to me. And, you know, coming off such a good first movie, and then, you know, ending with that as the next sequel, kind of was like, you gotta pull something out better. You know, this is what happens with these DC films. You know, some are here, and then the others are down here. There's no middle ground. It's just like, you're great or you're not. And they got to find a middle ground, because they're going to always be, you know, in their mind playing catch up when they could just be focusing on themselves and trying to make what's best. And I don't know if it's the studios, you know, limiting them or not, but I don't know.
I agree 100%. I know that the DC Warner Brothers, the studio, has undergone some changes as far as, like, department heads and stuff. I think it's safe to say that I think Wonder Woman 1984 was a disappointment. I mean, I really do. I think it was. I think, and the thing is, Wonder Woman, the first Wonder Woman, was such a great film. It had so much heart, so much charm, and it was like, I think it was like the most successful DC film probably since, like, The Dark Knight Rises, maybe, you know? And so the bar was set pretty high. But 1984, it was a disappointment. And I think it kind of, I don't know, to me, it didn't lessen my excitement for Zack Snyder's Justice League. But I think if you went into 1984 and then at the very end, you left watching the film like, shit, that was great. It was even better than the first one. Oh my God, now Gal Gadot's gonna come back as Wonder Woman, and now Zack Snyder's Justice League. But because I felt like with 1984, I went down like this, and then I was like, oh yeah, I still have Zack Snyder's Justice League, but Gal's still in it. Like, I know we're not talking about this, but there was just a lot of things that I think were exposed in 1984. And
my thing is, I don't think it was Gal Gadot. Like, I still like her as Wonder Woman. I think she's a great, you know, Wonder Woman. But it was more the aesthetics behind it. Like, the beginning was great. Her as a child during those games, and even the mall scene was cool. You know, the special effects were a little wonky. Like, especially with her, like, running super fast, her legs looked like giraffe legs. Like, come on. Like, you're watching this as professionals, and you're going to be like, okay, that looks fine. No, that doesn't look fine. Fix it. Like, if I'm me as, you know, a viewer who, you know, works in television and film and stuff, if I saw that and I was working on the film, I would say we need to fix that. That looks like trash. Because no one in here is going to see her legs like flapping like giraffes walking down the street. Like, that looks awful. Just like little things like that just piss me off.
It's kind of crazy, yeah.
And like the thing with, you know, Steve Trevor just taking over some guy's body, but then you just see, you know, what's his face? I'm forgetting the actor's name. Who plays Steve Trevor?
Oh, Chris Pine.
Yeah, Chris Pine. You just see him, but like he's actually someone else, and she totally like did this other dude, but he will never know. It's just like, come on, like if you're gonna bring him back. Don't bring him back through someone else. That makes no sense.
I completely agree, and it's so funny. Like, it's kind of fun. I mean, we didn't even review 1984.
No,
we reviewed the first one when we saw it, and so I'm actually okay that we're going into this because that whole thing to me was so goofy, and so to me, what it showed me is that you didn't think Gal Gadot was strong enough to hold the movie as the lead actress. That you needed Chris Pine in there because you like their chemistry.
Yes.
So you found some cheap ass way to bring him back. That's what that showed to me.
No, you're right.
And I just thought that was so gimmicky, and it just was so forced, and it just was.
That was my problem.
Bullshit.
It was very
bullshit.
Forced. And I was very confused going into it how they would bring Chris Pine back as Steve Trevor, but like the way they did it was just awful. And then like my problem is too, like when Wonder Woman was reaching out to everyone at the end to like rescind their wishes, not everyone in the world would rescind their wishes. Not everyone is peaches and happy and yes, you know, I messed up, that was bad. There's bad people in the world that are like, you know, screw you, Wonder Woman, I'm not rescinding my wish. Like, it's just things like that. It just makes no sense. And they still went forward with this. Like I said, if they would have just said, you know, Maxwell Lord rescinded his wish because he wanted to save his son, great. Have a domino effect, wipe everyone else's wishes out. But
I agree.
The way they handled it, and Gal Gadot's Wonder Woman was beaten, laying there, and she just has her freaking rope in there, just spitting out truth and hope and promise to everyone. It made no sense.
It didn't. I definitely felt like it was a way for Patty Jenkins to kind of take a look at the world that we live in right now and hope that by people watching this, they would go like, you know what, like I'm going to be a nice person. And as great as that would be, trust me, it's just a little far-fetched. And to me, it was a little too, I don't know. I just feel like she was trying to get across a message in her own selfish seems really harsh to say, but selfish way, and use it with a Wonder Woman mask on it. And she was trying, I don't know, man. I just, that movie, you know what? After watching it, I didn't dislike it as much as a lot of people were, and like even you were like, dude, I don't think you're gonna like it. Marcus fucking hated it, and he fucking hated it. And I remember texting you and him, and I said, you know what, I get where you're coming from. I get why you would tell me that I wouldn't like it because you know me so well, and I understand why he hated it so much. I didn't hate it like along the lines that he did. Like he really hated it. And he was like, wow, like you're a better person than me. But actually like reflecting on it and us talking about it now, I'm noticing there's a lot of things that were just really like not great to me.
It's just for me, like, and people have heard me talk about on the show, like I give things chances. Like I like things for what they are. And it was just, I think it was because it was disappointing because of how well the first one was done. And I had such high expectations for this second one. And just everything. Like, the way she, like, it was cool that they had, you know, the invisible jet. But the way they had the invisible jet was also dumb. Like, what is this? Like, what is this? And he's, like, looking at her like, what are you doing? And she's like, wait a second. Like, hold on. Like, we're invisible.
So Laura was like, "What's going on?" And I started laughing. I was watching. She said, "What are you laughing at?" I said, "Well, they're referencing the Invisible Jet from like the '60s television show with Linda Carter.
Yeah,
I think was her name."
Yeah.
And I said this was, I guess, their kind of way of nodding to that. And I'm laughing because I can't believe they actually like did it.
See, the thing is,
it was so stupid.
See, it didn't make me laugh that they were doing it. It's the way they did it. Like, you could handle that so much better, but the way they did it, because the thing is, in the comics, in the animateds, with the Linda Carter series, there was the Invisible Jet, and if you want to do the Invisible Jet, great. Like, that's a cool nod, but don't do this hocus pocus like, I'm a witch, I'm Scarlet Witch, I'm Agatha Harkness. Psh, invisible.
Yeah.
It makes no sense.
It's...
Like, even her flying. Like, her flying was great. Like, she took, Steve Trevor's mindset on how to fly with his jet and took it to herself. Because we all know within the comics, within, animated series, Wonder Woman does fly. And to me, that was fine. Except they made it look like the hokey pokey freaking flying shit from not Peter Roth's Andrew Ralph. Was it Andrew Ralph? The dude who played Adam in the CW series.
Brandon Routh.
Brandon Routh. Like, they made it look like his Superman flying around. Like, yo, it's 2020. What are you making him look like this green screen shit that she's on? Like, take it from, the Superman movies you made. Why not make the flying like that? Look at every Marvel film and how they fly. They make it look amazing. What was that?